Quick one in the greenhouse again. This will be a quick one. This is a reaction, if you like. There's been loads of debate this weekend between me and a certain someone else, and so, you know, I'm going to bring it up again because it needs to be said, because to be quite frank, I think what some of the stuff that this person has said and assumed, made presumptions about me and another company, has been bordering on slander, to be honest with you. You know, some things that are said about me taking, you know, profit over customers, things like that, is just absolutely wrong. Because what we make on supplies, if I'm honest with you, it's not a viable business. I work full time in the week from 7:30 till 5. Nothing related to Orchid Supplies. My wife runs the business, and I just do. She now actually runs all the packaging side and all that stuff, which is great for me because it leaves me a bit more time for my orchids. And you know, the profit out of the supplies business probably makes us enough to have an holiday once a year, which we haven't had for a few years, and we did this year, which was great. But that's it. But to suggest that I would cover anything up or be persuaded by a brand or a company over profit, I actually feel quite insulted by that, bordering on upset by that, because anyone that knows me knows that that is not how I operate. That is not on there. I could easily ditch Orchid Supplies UK with a click of a finger, and I would not be bothered financially. I would not be bothered at all. It doesn't make enough money to make it viable where I'm actually can fully work on it. It just don't happen. So for someone to suggest that and put a lot of assumptions and a lot of their own thoughts and what's the word I'm looking for? He's got something in his head which I am and I'm not, and something in their head about the producers of the feed that we sell. I mean, they actually said, which I actually find disgusting, that the people that make Rain Mix probably just package it and sell it. I mean, probably don't even know what is in that mix, and that absolutely disgusts me. I think it's despicable, and I really, you know, it's really, to say something like that about people is bad. And then to actually make comments about their own culture that, yeah, I did actually put too much feed in and bird the roots, and to make comparisons with living plants with cars. If your car's faulty, then every car and every batch is faulty. That's the same with a product like feed, but what you're feeding your plants, of course, which are other variables. You know, and then to fall into the trap of thinking that because Rain Mix or fertilizers shall we say, drop pH down to a certain level is wrong. It's not wrong, it's right, it's what it should do. Why would you then want to up the pH above that? Because it just doesn't make sense. So I suppose what this video is all about is what I was going to do is show you how I water these Neos. I've already done some there, look. Yeah. The drop on that one, look. I've got the feed in this sprayer to recommendation, comes out about 350 ppm. Here we go. The drier they are, the ones that are drier, I'll leave for longer. You know, the ones that aren't, we'll get a lighter spraying. Well, I've already done these this morning actually, so I'm not going to overdo it too much because I don't want too much water. I need to dry out before night. And someone else made a comment, well no, the same person made a comment that I advocate, this is funny for me, because they're not actually clicked, which I shouldn't probably laugh at them, but it is quite funny in a way, because you know they're trying to make me out to be a bad person, the advice that I give. But basically what we say is you feed it every watering. And now they're saying, what they were saying, well, what about my dendrobium then that doesn't get water? They're saying I need to feed it. No, we're not saying you need to feed it. We're saying that you feed every time you water. If you've got a dendrobium that has a rest for a month or two and hardly gets any water, it's not going to get no feed, is it? Because you're not watering it. You actually kind of meant you're missing very simple elements of culture. And I don't know why certain brains do that, but unfortunately they do, and they get this block. But if you think of it logically, with just common sense, because I think if a plant needs watering, just put some feed in. Masdevallies, for example, need to grow in all year round. So every time water in winter, they get fed. But in winter, of course, instead of it being 3 times a week, it might be once every week. So they've got a reduction in feed anyway. Phalaenopsis. Well, of course, they take water all the way through winter. They might even take more if you're growing in the home because you've got heating on. They're not going to survive on water. Well, they might do, but they're not going to grow as someone who's feeding theirs. So yeah, they got sprayed yesterday. Look, still living, no marks. And I might revisit that, but I'm getting bored of it now, to be honest with you. I might revisit these tomorrow and see if all of these are actually in fact dying and lost roots. In fact, I probably will. I'll call this part 1. Part 1. Then I'll come back. This will be called, I don't know, whatever, part 1. I've not got many part 1s and part 2s. I'll call this part 1 and I'll come back tomorrow once they've dried off. Fans on. Big fan down there is turned off at me because it's a bit noisy. Foggers off because humidity's must be iron off. And yeah, I'll come back with a part 2. Keep it simple, people. Have a good week. Good